it wasn't the best run campaign that we've seen. As a matter of fact, a lot of people have said it's one of the worst that they've seen. So I think we've all got to be prepared to provide feedback to make sure how we can do it better. I look at it as a football game. You've got to have your strategy right. You've got to have all your players performing well, and you've got to make sure all parts of your organisation are working well. And I think it's fair to say that we didn't have that. So we've really got to learn the lessons from that. And I think each of us have something to say with regards to that. So I'll be putting in a submission.
Dan, one of the issues that's going to be looked at in the review is the long-term challenge by Teal independence. Now, when it comes to independence in general, you saw a challenge in Alex Dyson. You held on. Why do you think you managed to do it, but others in your party couldn't do it?
Well, look, I think that's one of the things we need to look at when it comes to the review, and we have to look at, were resources allocated where they needed to be allocated? Did candidates have the support that they needed? Were the financial resources provided? What was the ground game like? Were people able to build that sort of local support base? I was very fortunate. I had over 1,700 people in one way or another who supported me, and that in the end was absolutely critical. So I think there's a number of things that we need to look at, but I think we also need to now understand that on the centre-right side of politics in Australia, we're now up against what I call a progressive front. The Labor Party, the Greens and the Teals are in many ways working as one to defeat us. And I think we've got to look at that as a new challenge now and how we can combat that. And I think that's going to be one of the really important things of the review.
Just before we let you go, you stuck to your electorate like glue. I mean, you really didn't feature too much in the national campaign. You were always on polling booths, things like that. Is that the lesson that you took out of this?
Well, all politics is local, as we know, and I think it's incredibly important that you know and understand that the first thing you are is a representative for your local community, and that's something that I've always taken to heart and I've always saw as my number one responsibility has really been there for my local community, and that's a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. And I think making sure that all MPs, especially on our side, know and understand that that's their fundamental first responsibility. Then everything else flows from that, and that's obviously good policy development if you're a shadow minister, and ultimately holding the government to account. And that's what I know Susan will be seeking to do, holding the government to account, but also making sure that in 3 years' time we've got a very good policy offering to offer to the Australian people. We don't have a lot of time for that. 3-year cycles are very short, and we've really got to make sure we get and start doing that work up until this stage, up until Christmas, because if we don't, the next election will be on us before we know it.
Heads down.